They had ruled for 20 years, and yet not for a day were they truly welcome. In 1407, the armies of Ming China swept into Đại Việt. Under orders from the Yongle Emperor, they overthrew the Ho dynasty and annexed the Đại Việt kingdom as a southern province of the Ming Empire. The kingdom was renamed Jiaoji Province, a deliberate reference to the name used when China's Han dynasty first subjugated and ruled parts of Đại Việt over 1,000 years earlier. It was the beginning of a brutal 20-year occupation. The Ming called it civilization, but to the people of Đại Việt, it was something else, conquest. And at the final Battle of Chi Lăng, the Đại Việt forces would end decades of Ming rule in their country. Before we continue, if you enjoy historical videos like this, like and subscribe for more. To understand the stakes of this battle, we must first understand the series of events that led to it. After the Ming occupation of Đại Việt, the new administration imposed forced cultural assimilation, burned Vietnamese texts, taxed the population harshly, and executed anyone suspected of resistance. Ming chronicles record that over 87,000 Chinese soldiers were stationed across nearly 40 fortresses in the north. But despite this overwhelming force, the Vietnamese spirit remained unbroken. Over the next decade, local uprisings erupted and were crushed in succession. Then in 1418, a more serious challenge emerged. In the hills of Thanh Hoa, a noble named Lê Lợi launched a rebellion that would become the Lam Son Uprising. Initially small and constantly on the run, Lê Lợi guerrilla forces relied on ambushes, mountain cover, and deep local support. His early campaigns were marked by hardship and retreat, yet his resilience won followers. Over the next several years, Lê Lợi forces slowly pushed back Ming control, liberating central provinces one by one. By 1425, the rebellion had become a revolution. In 1426, a Ming army under General Wang Tong marched from Dong Quan, present-day Hanoi, to stop Lê Lợi advance. But near the villages of Tot Giong and Chuc Giong, Vietnamese generals Jin Lê and Li Trien set a trap. Using terrain and deception, they lured Wang Tong's army into a waterlogged battlefield, then launched a surprise ambush from concealed positions. According to Vietnamese sources, tens of thousands of Ming troops were killed or captured in the chaos. General Wang Tong himself was wounded and forced to retreat. The Vietnamese laid siege to Dong Quan, and the Chinese occupation stood on the verge of collapse. But the Ming dynasty did not intend to lose its colony without a fight. In 1427, the Xuande Emperor ordered one final campaign to save the situation. Two large armies, according to court records, numbering over 120,000 men in total, were dispatched to Đại Việt. The Eastern Army, around 90,000 strong by Ming estimates, was commanded by Liu Sheng. He was to march from Guangxi through the northern mountains and relieve the garrison at Dong Quan. A second army under Mu Sheng, estimated at 30,000 men, would descend from Yunnan in the west and converge with Liu Sheng near the Red River Delta. Lê Lợi understood the threat. He could not face both armies at once. Instead, he decided to strike first at Liu Sheng's eastern column. He evacuated civilians from the border regions, denying the Ming guides and supplies, and ordered his generals to prepare an ambush at Chi Lăng Pass. Chi Lăng was no ordinary battlefield. It was a narrow valley surrounded by high cliffs and dense jungle, terrain that Jai Viet defenders had used for centuries to stop foreign invasions. According to legend, it was a place where 10 entered, 1 returned. In early October 1427, Liu Sheng's column crossed the border into Lam Son. He encountered little resistance. Jai Viet scouts appeared to flee. Encouraged by this, Liu Sheng pushed his army forward into Chi Lăng Pass. There, on October 10th, the Jai Viet sprang their trap. A small detachment of Jai Viet troops appeared ahead of the Ming vanguard, retreated again, and drew them deeper into the valley. As the long Ming column entered the narrow defile, concealed forces attacked from the slopes. Jai Viet archers opened fire from high ground. Infantry poured in from both sides. Horses and men fell into hidden pits and trenches. The Ming formation collapsed into confusion. Liu Sheng tried to rally his troops, but in the chaos he was unhorsed and, according to Vietnamese sources, killed. Some say beheaded on the field. The death of Liu Sheng shattered the morale of the Ming force. Thousands of soldiers were cut down in the valley. Others tried to flee, but found the exits blocked. Vietnamese reports estimate more than 10,000 Ming troops died in the ambush alone. But Lê Lợi forces didn't stop there. They pursued the retreating remnants of Liu Sheng's army, cutting down column after column. Ming Deputy Commander Liang Ming attempted to regroup the survivors and continue the mission, but was also ambushed and killed near Can Tram. Another officer, Li Qing, fell soon after. By late October, what remained of Liu Sheng's original 90,000 men was scattered, dead, or captured. Vietnamese accounts claim only a fraction survived. Some estimates place the total losses as high as 80 to 90% of the invading force. Meanwhile, the Second Ming Army under Mu Sheng was still moving cautiously through the mountains. When word reached him that Liu Sheng was dead and his army destroyed, Mu Sheng panicked. He ordered a hasty retreat back toward Yunnan. Lê Lợi sent 2 trusted generals, Pham Vân Giao and Trinh Ca, to harass the withdrawal. Jai Viet guerrilla units attacked the Ming rearguard, destroyed supply lines, and ambushed stragglers. As Mu Sheng's army fled through the rugged highlands, it took further losses. According to Vietnamese records, another 10,000 Ming troops were killed or captured during the retreat. By late October 1427, both Ming armies had failed. Zhong Quan was now surrounded with no hope of relief. But Lê Lợi had one more goal: destroy the final Ming stronghold at Xuanjiang. Xuanjiang, a heavily fortified citadel north of the capital, had been under siege since early 1427. Jai Viet sappers and engineers used trebuchets, tunnels, and gunpowder to weaken its defenses. Just as the last Ming reinforcements were being cut down, Xuanjiang fell. When the shattered remnants of Liu Sheng's force approached the citadel, they found it already in Jai Viet's hands. The final blow had been dealt. Every Ming position outside Zhong Quan had fallen. The last surviving garrison under General Wang Tong was completely isolated. His army, once confident and supplied, was now starving and surrounded. With no reinforcements coming, Wang Tong opened negotiations. Lê Lợi, confident in his position and eager to avoid more bloodshed, offered generous terms. The Jai Viet guaranteed safe passage for the remaining Ming soldiers in exchange for full withdrawal and a formal end to hostilities. On December 29, 1427, both sides gathered outside Zhong Quan to conduct the oath of peace. In a solemn ceremony, Wang Tong and Lê Lợi envoys swore to end the war. Vietnamese records state that over 80,000 Ming officers, soldiers, and collaborators were disarmed and repatriated to China in early 1428. Lê Lợi ordered his men to feed and escort them north, honoring his word. That spring, Lê Lợi entered the capital. Dongquan was renamed Thung Long, Rising Dragon. Once again, Lê Lợi declared the restoration of independence and ascended the throne as Lê Thái Tổ, founding the later Lê dynasty. The battles at Chi Lăng, Xương Giang marked the complete collapse of Ming colonial ambitions in Đại Việt. What began as a desperate rebellion in the mountains had become one of the greatest victories in Vietnamese history. Ming generals had been killed, their armies destroyed, and their empire forced to retreat. In Beijing, the Xuande Emperor recognized Lê Lợi rule and re-established Vietnam as an autonomous tributary kingdom, not a province of China. The Ming court never again attempted to conquer Đại Việt. The price had been too high and the memory too bitter. Đại Việt scholar and strategist Nguyen Trai, who helped in the revolution, recorded its meaning in his proclamation, Bin Ngo Jai Cao. The mountains and rivers of Đại Việt are distinct. Our customs and traditions are not the same. Let it be known, we were never slaves. And so, at Chi Lăng Pass and Zhuangjiang, history was written not by empires, but by those who defied them. Through patience, strategy, and sacrifice, Lê Lợi and his people brought the Ming Empire to its knees and reclaimed the soul of their nation. After 20 years of occupation, Đại Việt was sovereign once more. If you enjoyed this historical video, like and subscribe for more content like this.